And hello and welcome back to episode, I believe, 19 slash part two of the lack of interesting conversations, the WrestleMania 42 preview. We will be going over night two here. So if you missed the previous episode released on our normal day of Wednesday, that is where I discussed night one. And also, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I love it. You guys are so great.
That's pretty much how I feel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the new international listeners that have gained here recently. It's pretty mind blowing, to be honest, um, that so many of you are listening. Thank you so much. Obviously, we have, since this is episode 19, we have 18 other episodes you can go check out in our archives. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, we are always available on every podcasting platform uh, that we can be on where you listen to podcasts, including YouTube Music now. We are on there. Also, we do have a YouTube channel. Just search up the name of the podcast. That's the home of the exclusive home, anyway, of the video version of the podcast. Make sure you would just leave comments, like, and hit the notification bell on the YouTube so you'll be notified when we upload and go live. So I really appreciate that. So let's move on here to the topic here of WrestleMania. The first hour will be on ESPN. Then you have to go watch the rest of the show on the ESPN Unlimited app. There's plenty of ways you can do that if you're a TV provider um, and, has a deal with ESPN/Disney. You may be able to have it for free, but if not, you got to pay the $30 or one of their bundles that they offer, whether that be the Disney Hulu Plus and the ESPN Unlimited bundle or the ESPN Fox One bundle. So the kickoff night two, are kicking it off with a bang, which is, in my opinion, much of a bigger bang than night one. You getting the Rula Oba Femi versus the Beast, Brock Lesnar. This should be a fun match. Big card, right? Two massive human beings going at it. This the lead up to this match here has been pretty fun. Brock, them doing like the pull apart fights, going after each other. Brock jumping on Oba in the corner, kind of reminiscent of when let's see, 2015 when the Undertaker came back for a little run he had with in the match. Brock and Taker end up having at SummerSlam that year. They did like a pull apart brawl and they open up Monday Night Raw, and Brock did that. Brock also did that with John Cena when he first came back in 2012. I mean, all these, if any of that you interests you, if you want to go check it out, you can obviously go on YouTube. You can just search stuff up. The WWE themselves have uploaded that stuff, but also plenty of other channels. There's a ton of wrestling channels. You can also do deep dives and all kinds of stuff on YouTube. And honestly, a great place if you're interested in pro wrestling to find the history of it. We have it like the WWE Vault or the WCW Vault channel, the WCW channel. Those are great. Obviously, I got Sting on, a WCW guy, which I was growing up. With this one, obviously Paul Heyman will be there by Brock's corner there with Oba. Him being pretty fresh on the new roster, getting the call up from NXT, WWE's developmental brand. And Oba there, he dominated. The last thing you ever seen of Oba on the NXT television was basically him. I don't know who he wrestled that night, but then the lights went out, and since he was the NXT their world champion, he just left the title in the middle of the ring like, well, I'm done here. I've taken on all challenges, and no one can beat me. So let's go on to a new challenge. And this is the ultimate challenge here, in my opinion, in today's day and age, is Brock Lesnar, especially after he defeated the Undertaker's streak, being the 1-21 and won, which to be honest, it was shocking. It's pretty uh I just I do that was the very first WrestleMania on the WWE network. Still miss that to this day. Wish that was still a thing, but it's not. But that was a heck of a bang. And honestly, since then, Brock has been more of a beast, I guess, more of a an attraction since then. Even though him and Roman, uh, like for a decade, main event in WrestleMania for like half of those WrestleManias. But well, at least it feels that way anyway. But here I could, I guess, with the rumors Brock retiring at SummerSlam this August in Minnesota, his hometown where he's from, I can see, I guess, them obviously. You're going out the an old school way thing is you want to put as many people over as you can, which I during this feud, I mean Brock, in my opinion, both Heyman have both done their job getting Oba over as he Oba cut one heck of a promo this past Monday, selling people on the match even more. And this is, to be honest, the match I'm looking forward to the most on this WrestleMania all weekend. And because of this, I do think can, as much as I would love Oba Femi to win, it'd be great. And send him, put that rocket strapping onto his back and shoot him off into the stars. For some reason, I feel like Brock is coming out on top here. That's not what I personally want, but I feel like Brock will. This will be a great back and forth match. Oba will get to showcase how I guess his style and how honestly how physical and how big and how strong he is. But I think ultimately the Beast will tame Obafemi at least for now and be the winner, even though that might be sour grapes kicking off night two. And to be honest, it really the tone for night two it really depends on how night one is. Because if night one is great and ends with um, something that's satisfying will obviously build that momentum into night two and maybe even help you sell tickets. I don't know, since you're so desperate to sell tickets, even though you did this to yourself with going back to Las Vegas for WrestleMania and outpricing everybody. But then night two, then match two, which is basically the last match on ESPN before they go over to the Unlimited app, is the six-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, which is Penta, who is the current Intercontinental Champion. He won that on March 2nd when he defeated Dominic Mysterio. Penta, Javon Evans, high flyer dude, is athletic as can be. Um, versus Dragon Lee, Narda the Luchador, JD McDonough of the Judgment Day, looking out for maybe some revenge for Dominic, and bring that title back to the Judgment Day, versus Rusev Day, who hasn't honestly done very much since he came back from AEW. Speaking of AEW, nice little shocker in Dynamite this has Wednesday with Darby Allen defeating MJF for the AEW Championship in Darby's hometown. Great shocker, great way to get people to talk about you during WrestleMania week, heading into WrestleMania this weekend. Always great to see the Stinger on TV. They're coming in at the end, coming out and hugging him. But back to this match. Then the very final participant is Rey Mysterio here. This should be honestly a car crash. Ladder matches, that's usually what they are, especially during WrestleMania. You got people jumping off of 50,000 feet ladders. But then putting their lives on the line, people breaking ladders, going through ladders, getting hit in the face with all kinds of stuff. And then you'll have like, will he get the championship and people knocking him down? Should be a great fun car crash, great way to end the that portion of Mania that's on ESPN. Maybe get people enticed here. Honestly, in my opinion, it comes down to two people: Javon Evans or Penta retains, and I guess I think I do think they're got a lot of. I think they're really fond of Javon, but it may be too early. And to be honest, and I think that is why Penta holds on and comes out on top here, retains the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, obviously Penta's huge, especially in Mexico, huge, and he's honestly a big, very over with the fans, especially with the mask, with the Sierra Minto or however you say it, Sierra Miro or whatever. Sorry, I know I butchered it. It's been a while since I heard it. So, but anyway, I think he retains. Then we go to match 3, Jade Cargill, who this will be her first title defense. She is the current women's champion, WWE Women's Champion, as this is versus uh, Rhea Ripley, obviously crowd favorite. But this is honestly mind blowing. Jade defeated Tiffany Stratton on Saturday, the November 1st Saturday night's main event in Salt Lake. I believe that's where that was. And this is her first title defense since she won that. And that's, I don't know if that's just to maybe protect her, let her, I guess, craft more of her skills down there at the performance center. But I guess, if you knew that you weren't going to have her defend the championship until now, until this Sunday against Rhea Ripley, who then why even put her on her then? That doesn't make any sense. That's, in my opinion, that's way too long in between title defenses. Heck, even when Brock and Roman both did it, I mean, I guess I felt like Roman could get away with it a little bit more because of the story of the bloodline and how great of a story that was. With Jade, there really hasn't been any story or anything like that. I know they've recently put BFAB and Meech in with her as Rhea obviously had Io has her corner, I guess, maybe not in her corner in there in this match, but has been her friend as they were the previous women's tag team championship champions before losing to Nia Jackson last legend. But this and Rhea to get to this spot, she won the Elimination Chamber in Chicago, the last PLE WWE had for WrestleMania. I mean, Rhea, she's constantly, honestly, been at either at the top of the card or near the top of the card. That's really just how good she is, she's, how much the fans connect with her, and how much they love her. And with, to be honest, I would be shocked if Jade wins this match, especially since this is her first and, in my opinion, only defense. I think she loses. I think Rhea wins the title back, and go. Then you kind of go from there. I don't know what you do with Jade, but maybe she takes some time off again. I don't know, but I think Rhea comes out on top here, and then you then you go forward. I don't know if maybe uh, go into a program with Io, maybe a friendly rivalry that turns into where one of them turn on each other. I don't know, but I see Rhea coming out on top of this one. Then number 4 here, you got Sami Zayn, or as some people like to call him, Sammy Hogan. But Hogan, question, quote unquote, versus the Lemon Pepper Stepper himself, man with the Lemon Pepper Steppers. Whoop that Trick Williams, who was a star former wide receiver at South Carolina. Uh, Obviously, dude looks like $1,000,000. I know this past weekend, I know Sammy kind of addressed the people's growing dislike, disdain for him, not really understanding why they don't like him. But because of that, I know that, I guess the rumor was they were going to try to execute a double turn, have where currently Sammy's a good guy, and then Trick's a bad guy, and then basically having to switch roles. And with that, I could see, if that was the thing, I could see, which is a hard thing to do. Like, I know, I mean, Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13 did that to perfection. But that is definitely a hard thing to do. But I mean, going into the match with people cheering Trick and people booing Sammy already, it might be a little easier. But if they do that, I definitely can see Sammy retaining just to get that carry that heat with them going forward, as somehow screwing Trick Williams out of the United States Championship. I'm sorry, I didn't even mention that. This is for the United States Championship. But personally, I would love to see Trick win. Uh, and I think he does win. I think he pulls it out. This is his first singles title on the main roster, as a lot of these bigger, I guess, NXT names or have been world champions in that on that brand, as they like to call it. But I think Trick wins this, and uh, there he strapped the rocket to him, and you got a new superstar made. Then number 5, you have Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, who is I believe, currently the AAA champion, which is WWE's Mexico territory. But then this match, you have the return of the Demon persona for Finn Balor. It was the first time the Demon has been around since WrestleMania 39, excuse me, when he lost to Edge in the Hell in a Cell match during that night of WrestleMania. But honestly, I'm pretty happy about the Demon coming back. I'm a big fan of this side of Finn Balor. He did this when even before his time with WWE, when he was in New Japan on Indies. He did like I think he did like a Venom one. He did a Joker one. I know that. He did several renditions of this of what ends up being the Demon here in the WWE. Even did like I know one time in NXT, his first go round in NXT. Anyway, I believe he did like a Jack the Ripper version of the Demon. But honestly, I'm really happy to see them back. I know the first time the Demon was debuted on the WWE main roster was the time he defeated Seth Rollins for the and became the inaugural, the very first WWE Universal Champion. He ended up getting hurt and having to vacate it that night, the next night on Raw. But obviously, I mean, this is I think they've been teasing this match for a while now, as both of them were in the Judgment Day, uh, and recently um, they kicked Finn out, and basically turned on him, and they all were beating him up. And now recently they've been teasing the Demon coming back here, and this match will be Finn Balor's first match, being a good guy since 2019. Really, that's before he returned to NXT, where he's essentially really been a bad guy since his second stint in NXT, then getting called back up to the main roster in 2022, where he joined the Judgment Day, the inaugural version of the Judgment Day with Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest, and then eventually turning on Edge there. But I definitely think in this match, I think it'll be good, a good match. I mean, people love to hate Dom, people love to love Dominic Mysterio, so you get that. He's a very there for a while. He was probably the most hated guy in the company. But anyway, I mean, now that you've have Finn Balor see the light and come back to the good side, I definitely think because it's been so long and because it's the Demon here, I do definitely think there'll probably be some interference from the Judgment Day, but I think Finn is able to fight that off and come out on top and get his first win as a single baby face, good guy, and forever. I can't even tell you last time you won a match as a good guy. But then we go with that. We head to the main event, the main attraction of the night two, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus CM Punk here for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, which is by far the best looking championship in the company, reminiscent of the big gold belt, the old WC belt. That is my favorite championship of all time. If I ever could own a replica title, that'd be the title I'd want. The old big gold belt, whether that be the WWE's version of the WCW's, it really wouldn't matter. As obviously, I know this shirt right here, the Sting shirt, is a WCW version of his WCW Crow shirt around '97. Brilliant heat of that Sting NWO angle. I hope WCW not Monday Nitro stay on top for 83 weeks. My goodness. But anyway, this Roman has really kicked off. This really started with Roman. He won the Rumble all the way back in January in Saudi Arabia. The Tribal Chief coming back for his for a championship, a world championship, to stay on top. This feud's been really built on hatred. I mean, you had the Usos there come and defend Roman the week after Punk said he was going to bury Roman next to the Father, which he just recently apologized for at the Go Home edition here this past Monday on Raw. Which, but then he had the Usos come out and the following week and kind of demand an apology, and then he had Jay attack Punk and all that. And honestly, I feel like Roman never really got his receipt back for that. There's been rumors why and all that stuff, but I don't know. But if you're going to let a man talk about your dad, who is no longer here and your dad can no longer defend himself, you figure you want to say something about it. But um, I know this past Monday with Punk apologizing for talking about his dad, saying they hate each other but they respect each other. I mean, it is what it is. But I guess I wasn't the biggest fan of the promo showdown here. But it is what it is. But I know since this is a Thursday, obviously during Manning Week, they got all the superstars going on all these podcasts and talking, doing interviews and stuff like that. Like I know, like one of the big ones busted open, but you got a lot of these mainstream podcasts with these celebrities and all that. Like I know Roman even did one talking about all his Rolexes, and Cody. I know obviously he's the face in the company. Has done quite a bit. Punk has too. Like I know Roman today on X released a promo telling Punk to keep his name out of his mouth, but this promo is not a don't watch it at work. I'll say that, but it is what it is. I guess it'll be interesting to see, I guess, where this match goes. I have no doubt this is going to be a great match, but I mean, are the Usos going to get involved, or any other the Samoan dynasty of Roman's family get involved? Because really, CM Punk doesn't have anybody to back him up. He has no one to lean on. As he said tonight, his first night back in the company on Monday Night Raw when he cut that promo, he wasn't in the WWE to make friends. He was there to make money. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But at the end of the night, I do think you have the ones going in the air. I think you have Roman Reigns victorious over CM Punk. And I believe that is how we go off the air Sunday night. Although, even though I guess supposedly Roman is not advertised for the Monday, the Raw after WrestleMania, but which could change things. It could mean Punk's winning, retaining, but you never know. But anyway, there you go. That's my breakdown of night number 2 of WrestleMania. Again, if you want to hear my night 1 predictions, my full set of predictions for the entire card, go back and listen to part 1 night 1 preview. But before we go, I just want to say if any of the previous podcasts that you listen to, if any of it touch you, I just feel free to reach out. I'd really appreciate it just to hear your story, what if any of it's impacted you. But also, if you're a wrestling fan and you don't know, if you feel inclined to go back and listen, and then for some reason, if you don't know who Jesus is, Jesus Christ came down to earth to be born of a virgin, to take our spot, to take our place on the cross because we were deserving of the cross. That's what our sin has separated us from God. And because of that, Jesus came down here, sacrificed himself, his life, nailed our sins to the cross, died, and went into the belly of the earth for 3 days, then rose again, and so that we may have eternal life. And though that our sins may be forgiven, that He is the ultimate sacrifice for our sins. That if we just, as in Romans 10:9 through 10 says, as if we confess with our mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord and believe that God raised Him from the dead, we shall be saved. That's just as easy as it is. Uh, but we can, because of His sacrifice, we are made free, and that we can live free and know that um, our past mistakes do not get do not have to hang over our head anymore. That we are forgiven, that we are made free, and because of that, uh, and because of Jesus' sacrifice, that is why, as He is the way and the truth and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Him, and that the Creator of all the universe and the trees, the birds, the sky, the earth, all that, as wanted a relationship with you. It was so important for Him to have to reconnect with us, to have a relationship with us again, that He came down here Himself, wrapped Himself in flesh, like the flesh that's on my arm here. So He and go to be obedient to um, what he what His destiny was here. Go to the cross, die, rise again. That that it was so important that He was willing to sacrifice and give His life up, so He can be the ultimate atonement for our sin. And there's nothing, honestly, how beautiful is that? How awesome is that? That we are loved that much. It just, honestly, it's just amazing and incredible. And to be honest, it's really hard. It's almost impossible. It's probably is really impossible to describe how amazing that is. But anyway, before we do go, I just want to also shout out this weekend the NHL playoffs start, and just like if you listen to our March Madness podcast, um, I will on the ESPN Fantasy app. I do. They are also having like an NHL bracket playoff predictor. Uh, we are also doing that. So you just like I will link that in the description below. We can just type in the lack of interesting conversation podcast group uh, on that app. I would suggest you would download that app. That's the easiest way, because I know my wife had trouble joining the group if she did have that app downloaded, but I know my brother-in-law did too. But anyway, if you have that, just go ahead and join it. Just have some fun, see who can come out on top there. But anyway, God bless you guys, and thank you for listening to the lack of interesting conversation.